The topics those are pending with us in JavaScript is actually exception handling. Exception handling. After that, we need to understand DOM model and the DOM model supported functions. Okay, so there is arrays is over, right? Arrays we have last time we have discussed about how to use push, pop, and other methods, which is provided by array object actually. Yeah,
Yes, sir.
that's the last one which I have discussed. Then coming to exceptions, apart from exceptions, anything else we missed, Suresh? Array object is over. Yes, array object is over. Under array object, we have discussed all these methods. Okay, we have discussed about how to create an array using constructor, how to assign values directly to the array, and how to get the values also. Okay, how to apply concatenation, how to use a for loop to get the values from the array, and then we have already used how to use every method in a array and checking is big enough function or not, I mean value or not. And then what else we checked, and then push pop methods we just discussed in under a array object, and reverse also. You can do reversing the values inside the array object. Now let's see exception. So it's almost like Java only. This is a syntax for Java exception, JavaScript exceptions. Look at here we have used try catch block, try catch and finally block. So we are just using a function called my function, and integer equal to a equal to 100. We are just declaring a equal to 100. So we are just variable here. Okay, and then try, inside try again we just use alert symbol and catch. If we catch any exception, immediately it will open one more alert. Okay, and we show a description of the error. Finally, the respect of the exception, simply execute this code. That is in line number 16. Okay, coming to another exception, we can also create our own exception using a throw keyword. Throw keyword can be used actually. So throw divided by 0 and then else divide with the values. Okay. So coming to the test script, okay, window on error, we just calling this function. Message URL online message, this is the message URL and so on. The line number and all is there. And then we have a body. Inside body we have form. So there are 3 buttons and 1 image. Okay, if you click on the first button, it simply invoke the my function on click. These are the events that we have already discussed. Okay, this is another button. There is 3 buttons are there actually. 1 image is there. On error, it simply shows the alert. Okay. Just like right click and open a default browser. Yeah. On error occurred loading the image. Okay, but what it means actually. So this error, this alert will get opened whenever the page gets loaded. Okay. So whenever the page gets loaded, automatically this error message will come. See, on error alert. Okay, an error occurs unloading the image. Unloading the image. Fine. Okay, we have not defined any image here. If you want to define, you can define also. Okay, but for time being, you can remove it off. Actually, you can use bulb dot something. Okay, can give any name. Else, this refreshes automatically. We get a pop-up. Oh, there's a pop-up. Oh, if there is an error, it will. Okay, on error, we are getting this error. Okay, so suppose if we give button 1, Control S. First of all, the GF is not at all there in that location, hence you will get an error. Clear? On error, we will get an error. Okay, on click, if you click this, if you invoke this function anyway, this invoking function we already know, it just invokes and opens the browser. Okay, the value of variable is 100. Okay, yeah, finally block gets executed. And the next one is my function throw, means divide by 0 exception will come, divide by 0 exception. Okay. And not defined, that means the value which we have used not defined actually. So that's why we are getting this error. Okay, my function not defined. Okay, fine. So okay, leave it. Line number 53 and so on. So it even opened where this error gets okay opened. Window on dot error function. We are just calling this function on error alert message, and this is the message, and then this is URL, and this is a line number. Okay, where you are defined, we have already defined here. Okay, so this is all about exceptions. And then finally, DOM object. As I told you already, DOM, what is a document object model? Document object model
Sir.
allows JavaScript to access the web elements. Okay, so many elements are there. Here, three buttons are there, one image is there. I want to access the properties and methods of these elements. How to access? You can access by using DOM. Document object model allows developer to access the values and properties of the uh, DOM objects. DOM objects you can say, or you can also say HTML elements. Okay. Yeah. Now see. Remaining examples. '21. Yeah. Form validation we have already seen. How to validate a form, basically. How to validate a
So
form.
like,
Hmm.
so like a input, given the input, user values, names, everything is a.
Okay. So here, first look at the body. Inside body, we have form. This is a form actually. Inside the name of the form is my form, and on submit we are just returning validate. That means we are calling the function called validate. Okay, with the function, this is the function validate. This is the function. Okay. So that means
Okay, sir.
if there is a form, automatically there is a submit button. That is for sure. If you click the submit button, automatically it simply invokes a validate function, and whatever the validate function returns, it simply returns here on submit. Inside this form, we have a table. Inside a table, okay, we are using table row and table data to define values. Inside table data, we have name and then email and then zip code and country. Inside country, again, we have a selector item. Okay, look at it, select. Name of the select item is a country. Inside that, we have 4 options. This is all about a table, very simple table. Okay, and
Yes,
then
sir.
finally, we have a submit button also. There is a one more table row where we have added a submit button, the value submit. So whenever you click a submit button, what happens? Whenever you click a submit button, it returns validate. Okay, inside validate, what are the functions you have? First, it will check document.myform. See why we are using myform. Document.myform. Why we are using myform? See, this is a document. The entire HTML page is a document. Dot myform is a name. That's why we have used a dot. Okay. Okay. If it is ID, then we have to use a slash. I mean hash symbol and ID. Document.myname, myform dot name. Where is the name again here? Okay. The name of the thing is actually this is a name. Okay. Name. Clear? So the
Yes.
table data or text is name. Name. Here also you can see name. Name of the property. Name property of the particular input field is name. Name. Okay. Name dot value. We are just fetching the value from the input box. So that's how we use document dot myform dot name. That means we are traversing inside the table. After that, we are just checking if it is empty or not. If it is an empty, please provide your name. Okay, please provide your name. Alert should come and return false. If it is no value, it returns false. If it is again no value for email, again it returns false. Again check zip value. Zip value is not a number. Two conditions we are checking. So the function does not allow numeric, I mean non-numeric values. That means characters and all it does not allow. Special characters it does not allow. And okay, and if the length of the zip is not equals to 5, these are the various conditions. That's why we have used R symbol. Okay. First, the zip value should not be empty. Document.myform.zip.value should not be empty, should not be a non-numeric value, and should not be less than 5 characters, 5 numeric values. Okay, then automatically we will get a pop-up saying that, I mean, it's simply focused actually, focus and then return a false value. Similarly, country also. So if it is a -1, if it is a -1, okay, then please provide your country. You have to provide a country name here and returns 2. Returns 2. Finally, it returns 2. If you enter every value, all the values, finally it returns 2. Otherwise, it returns false. Okay. So validate email also there. Here you can see how to validate email. First, we have taken the value into a variable email ID document.myform.email.value, and then at position email ID dot index of @ after, I mean, it should have a @ symbol and dot symbol. Okay, index of, last index of. Okay, and we check here. So it should be less than 1. Okay, at a position of @ symbol less than 1 and dot position minus @ position less than equals to. So this is a condition. If this condition fulfilled, that means you are not entering the proper email ID. Then automatically you get a pop-up alert. Okay, just right click, default. So we are not giving any value. Simply you'll get a, please provide your name. Okay, something we are given. Then click submit. Okay, provide okay, email ID. So I'm just giving something. Again, you will get an error because we are not following @ symbol. Oh, it's allowing anyway. Just four values only you have entered. Immediately you will get a zip format is wrong. Okay, I'll give one more number. Yeah, now you will get it will accept because it allows only 5. Length is 5. Should not allow less than 5. Next, choose provide your country. And choose any one of this country, India or anything. Just click submit. Yeah. Okay. So finally it accepts the entire form. As well, you get an error. So this is how we have to validate. To traverse inside the document, we use a dot symbol, document dot the element. I mean, if it's a parent, immediate, it might be a form or it might be a window, whatever it is. Dot the name of the element and the dot value. To fetch a value, we use a dot value. Dot value means if it is a input field, ideally the value means whatever the value we are entering to the input field, that is nothing but a value. Okay, that is nothing but a value. Okay, next, finally, the last topic which is pending actually in JavaScript is actually DOM methods. Okay, how do you access these DOM methods? Form validation is over. Okay, DOM methods. What are these DOM methods?
Document.get element ID by ID.
Correct. So this theory part is over already. So DOM is nothing but it is a model. Okay, it allows to access and modify the elements through JavaScript. Okay, these objects are basically organized in a hierarchy. The parent object is window object. Inside window object, we have a document. Inside the document, we have form. Inside a form, we have elements. This is how we organize, right? Just take the previous example only on validation. See, look at here. We have a first, what's the first element actually? HTML. Where is this HTML? The HTML is there inside a page. That is nothing but a document. Okay, that is nothing but a document. See, we have referred here document dot my form. That means entire HTML code is inside a document. That's why we are referring a document. Okay, document is an object. Where is this document again? This document is there reside inside a window basically. Okay, so window object is a topmost element in the hierarchy, and it is a outmost element of the object hierarchy. And the next immediate element is document element. Window element, window object, document object. Inside the document object, we have a form object, and then we have form controls. Okay, this is a form element. Inside a form element, we have a table basically. Inside a table, we have a web elements, form control elements. Clear? So,
Yes,
so many methods are there, but we'll see only few methods. Okay. So what are those methods? The first and foremost is document.body. One of the method which used to get the entire tag value of the body. Whatever the value inside the body, we can fetch it. can fetch it basically. So anyway, we'll go to methods. So methods.html. Yes. So we have very lengthy code. Okay. See, let's see first. Okay, finding an element using a HTML tag. Okay. So how do you find an element? Here you can see we have written a very simple code. We have a division. Inside division, we have a main. Okay, inside main, there are two page elements. This is a page element. This is a break actually. So we have written a script, very sample script here. Inside sample script, what we have written. So document dot first we are fetching the element. How do you fetch an element? So first we need to check whether we are able to fetch an element or not. Okay, if it does not fetch, it simply returns -1. Okay, so if first of all the element itself is not there, it simply returns null value. The document got get element by id of main. Okay, and then x dot, that means the inside division we have few more elements. That's why we are using x dot get element elements by tag name of p. Okay, so after that what we are doing, we are just assigning some values to the HTML properties. So for demo, we have a demo. Yes, of course we have a demo here.
Yes, sir.
For
I
this
do.
demo, yeah, tell me the first paragraph index main is y of 0. Y of 2 elements it fetched, right? See here we have used a find elements, not find element. Find elements by tag name that returns fetches 2 values. Fetches 2, okay, page objects. Right, we have 2 page objects. That's why it returns 2 page objects. Okay, index of 0, that means this is the one. Finding HTML element by tag name, it just assigns those values. Okay, so after that you can go to one more term. I think this is the okay id 01. Yeah, it's a different one. It's okay, you can ignore it for time being. We have another header file, and we're just getting the value again by using okay, get element by id 01 this time, id 01, and we are assigning a new header to this element. That means take the same element dot inner HTML equals to, and we are just changing the header. Okay, just anyway, just right click, go to default browser, see finding element by tag name, fine. The okay, finding element by tag name, everything is fine. Next what we are doing, get element and assigning inner HTML. Okay, what is the inner HTML? Finding HTML elements by tag name, that is the inner HTML where we are assigning per paragraph. Okay, see the inner HTML of the second paragraph. Finding HTML by tag name. Okay, this example. Okay, fine. And then we are assigning, basically we are assigning demo. Where is the demo? Demo is a page. There is no text actually. There is no text. Okay, so for
Yes,
suppose
sir.
this is demo. Okay, para. Okay, control S. Okay, this refreshes. Okay, see now what happened? You just take the value from up. Okay, this page, the example demonstrates that. Okay, that's why it has came again. The example demonstrate that again it has taken the same one. Okay, and the second thing, old heading, it is replacing with the new heading. Where is the new old heading? Okay, old heading, confusing. Old heading and new heading, constant element. It's not taking, I think. I'll check actually. It's supposed to replace this old heading with a new heading. Okay. Next, validate form. We know already validate form. How do you validate form? So validation, I'm not going to explain again. So just go into forms, document.forms dot my form. Okay, first name. Okay, it checks validate actually. Next to JavaScript validation. This is another heading file. Yeah, we have a form here, my form. The problem is I just copied and I need to change the values of the locators. Locators means name and class name and all I need to change. On submit, what basically it does actually, it will go to the validate form. Validate form function should be invoked. So this is a validate form. Okay. So method is post on submit. Okay. So inside form we have a name. Okay, that's the reason we have used f name. Okay, forms
Sir.
of my form. There are different annotations actually. You can directly use a document dot. Okay, instead of forms, you can directly use a okay my name dot first name is f name. Either you can use that way or you can use a square brackets. Forms of what is the form name? My form, and again another sub element called f name dot value. Okay, so input. This is the input actually. Type equal to submit. Input is a value is a submit. Okay. Okay. Right. This is a text type. It's fine. Name must be filled out. If it is an empty, is a value. If the value of the input field called f name is an empty, then automatically throws in a pop-up. Okay. But somehow there is a mistake in a HTML code. That's why it's not showing. Okay. Next, another validation here. Yeah, again we have a form here. Here we have an input field and then submit. Yeah, here what you need to understand required. So that means it is a mandatory field. If you don't enter any value, okay, this is a property of the input field. Type equal to text, name equal to f name, and then required. If you don't enter any value, automatically throws an error. Definitely throws an error. Okay. Yeah, please fill out this field. Okay, please fill out this
Yeah.
field.
Okay,
This
sir.
is a text you will get if you don't enter any value over here. Okay, and then read-only attributes. If you want to make a particular thing as a read-only, automatically make that particular okay input field as a read-only. That means you can't okay enter basically. See, first name, last name, value is John. By default, it has already provided. This is a read-only type. Okay. So read-only attribute. This is a read-only attribute. See, John. Okay. So you can't enter. Even if you try anything, you can't enter actually because it's a read-only property. Again, DAW is there that you can enter. DAW is there right here. You can see. So one
So what's the meaning of read only, sir?
read-only. Read-only means you can't write. That means you
Just
can't
inputs
edit.
what's in.
You can't
Okay.
edit. Read, write. Read means what actually? You can read only the property. Read only means exclusively it is discarding the okay rights of writing the data into the field. Okay, we are not able to write any data. John is the right. See, we can't write anything because it's a read only. Okay.
Yeah.
See, and then coming to DOI, there is no attributes defined for this input field. Then that is the reason we won't. We can able to add read only, required. These two properties are very important. Required and a read only. And disabled. If you want to read only and disabled. Disabled means actually slightly the value which is there inside this form is a actually not opaque actually. See here we have one more field. John. See, is it enabled? No, it is not enabled. It's a disabled. Look at the difference between this and this. This
Yeah,
is
sir.
okay. This is disabled. Okay. There is another form input size actually. Okay. So we have one more attribute called size where we can define a size of the element equal to 50 and size of the element is 4. That means it does not allow more than 4 actually. Pin is a right pin if you try to enter more than 5. So, submit going somewhere. So size attribute input size, input size. Name attribute ID, okay, pin. Size is 4 only here. The pin is input field is pin and okay. So, but even though it allowed, actually it takes only first 4 values. Okay, in your program, that means if you have in the backend you have written PHP, so automatically takes only the first 4 letters, first 4 values of the pin number, because the size is 4. The size is 4. Okay.
Okay.
So first name size equal to 50 and pin is 4. And submit type we know already. Then maximum length and minimum length, 2 properties are there. Maximum length is 4 and size is 4. Okay, now maximum length. Now look at here, go to maximum length. Pin. So it's not at all allowing, first of all. At least the last time it is allowing, but when you click on submit button, it takes only 4 values. Okay. So the size. Coming to maximum length is 4. That means it is limiting basically. Here also, if you look at here, the input where the size is 50, but it allows more than 50. But when it's submitting, actually the data just submitted only first 50 characters. It does not submit more than 50 characters. Okay. Then yeah, minimum and maximum attributes you can see here. So again, we have another form, and here we have a label for data date maximum and date minimum. So we have to enter the label field. This is the text actually. And then ID is this, and the name is this, and the maximum value. This is the maximum value. Okay, and this is the minimum value and maximum value. And if you look at here, the quantity, it should be between 1 to 5. Minimum is 1 and maximum is 5. Okay, you should not you cannot enter more than that. Okay, submit button. So let's see minimum and maximum. Here you can see the okay calendar object. See, look at here, what type of object it is. Type is date. That's why it is showing calendar. If it is a text, it is ordinary input field. If it is a button, it is a button field. If it is a submit, it's automatically become a submit field, right?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Okay. So there are different type of input fields are there. Text, submit, date, password also. Password also one type of input field. Okay. And then text, submit, button. Okay. And then password and date. So for these are the different type of input fields we have seen. So date, it automatically become a date field. Okay, date field. Yeah, it tells us the minimum, maximum value is 1979, 12, 31. Okay, that's the maximum value. Tell us. It does not allow more than that. If you try to give 1980, it does not allow. Okay, so just go to 1980. See, it's going October and all. Okay, see, it reaches 1999. See, it is disabled completely. That means it is not allowing more than this value. Okay, 31st 12. So till that time only tell us maximum value. Minimum value means, so that is a minimum value. This is a minimum value. Okay, August, sorry, 2nd 01/2000. That is a minimum value. So you can go up to any period from this. That means if you go to 2000. Oh, so minimum value, I'm just copying directly. Hmm. 0101 I am giving 0101, and then here is okay 1999. Okay, so less than that. Okay, after that anything you can enter. See, 0101 2000 is right. After that it should allow. Okay, so that's the minimum value. Quantity here, see here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Only up to 5 values it will accept. More than that, it does not accept.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah. Maximum and minimum. That's how it. Then we have okay, checking the pattern. Pattern also can check. Okay, this is again a form. Country code. What is the pattern of the code actually? Basically starts with the okay, alphanumeric value, and either it might be a small or capital, and 3, maximum 3. Okay, 3-letter country code. Okay, 3-letter country code only tell us. So here input pattern. Okay, so IND1, INDS. Oh, it is allowing. Okay, the pattern attribute specify regulation that the input value is checked against the code. Okay. See, we are not limiting here the value. Minimum or maximum, we are not limiting. If you specify maximum length like this, okay, maximum length, where is the maximum length? Yeah, maximum length is 4. Then it does not allow. But basically here, what we are checking, okay, maximum length and equals to 3. Okay, refresh it. Okay, now just give select allowing India pattern country code. So maximum length. Oh, this is slight mistake. LENGTH. LENGTH. This is section. Maximum length. Okay. Just refresh it. Now enter the value here. And see, it is not allowing now. Okay. But the pattern here we have to understand pattern. Pattern is actually it allows alpha. I mean only character values, either capital or small, and maximum actually the pattern is 3. 3 means first 3 values only it will take. Okay. Then strong and all we know already. If you make a particular text in the paragraph strong, then you have to can make strong italic and all. You know? And underlining and all we know actually there's actually pattern. Okay. Then finally, what's pending? On or off for the email ID. I just want to make on or off, autocomplete off, autocomplete on. Okay. We have a email ID. So you can enter first name and last name anyway, and this is the email ID. So it allows. Okay. And then autocomplete off. What is this autocomplete first of all?
We will take automatic
Correct. The first time you have to fill the data, but next time onwards, what happens? You know, after submitting the form, if you go and submit the same form, it automatically fetches the value from the cookies. That is nothing but autocomplete. Okay, first time you have to fill the form. See here, see the description. Fill in and submit the form. Then reload the page to see how autocomplete works. So something you enter and you enter something and then click submit button, but PHP is not there actually. The part allows should not contain the symbols and so on. Okay, fine. Yeah, fine. Submitted. Go back. Reload this page. So if you have a PHP connected, I mean the backend code, so email is the right. Automatically the automatic values will be populated in email. You can select it directly. Okay, but it is off currently. Okay, make it on. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this is nothing but auto off or on. Okay, but I'm going to keep it as off only. Yeah. Okay, and then coming to node list. Node list also very important. Okay. When do you use this node list? If there are multiple nodes are there, if you want to fetch one node, particular node and assign the values, you can use the node list. Okay, here there is a header and three paragraphs are there. The last paragraph ID is demo. And inside that we have a script. Inside this, what we are doing, we are just query selector all. I'm just, querying all the, okay, locators or a DOM object. It's HTML tag is P. Okay, query selector all, we just fetch all the values and store in the my node list. Of that, what we are doing, we are just indexing it. So the second paragraph, it's indexing always start with 0, but we have taken 1 here, 1.html. Okay, that means second paragraph only it will take. First and second, hello Norway is right. In this place, we are going to change the value. Okay, so document.html of demo. This one in this paragraph, we are assigning hello Norway and pause here. That's all. Okay. So what is the inner HTML of second paragraph? Hello Norway, and this will be pasted over here. That's all. Okay. Node list. Where is node list? Yeah, here you can see my world hello. Okay. Hello Norway. Hello Norway. So hello world and hello Norway. Oh, this is a different demo. So hello world and hello Norway. It automatically assigns the values of inner HTML of one node to the another node. So it fetches the inner HTML of hello Norway second page and assign this value to the another element called another paragraph called this. Okay. Document dot write off. Okay, and you can say HTML Control C. Control S. Just right click. Okay, HTML normal. Just go to F12. F12. 22. There are few errors actually already been declared. 22. Where is that error? Console elements. Yeah, hello Norway. On click and so on. Different again. Fine. But this is how we have to fetch the value of inner HTML and assign to another node. Okay, by using ID, we are just using it actually. Get element by ID of demo dot inner HTML. We are assigning. Okay. Then collections also same. Okay, we can fetch the bunch of elements by using get elements. Basically, get elements. Instead of get element, we use a get elements by tag name. That means just fetches all the the elements with type paragraph P. Okay, and we're just passing into collection. After that, what we are doing, we are just changing the style of this paragraph to red. Okay, whenever you click on this button, try. Okay, but it's somehow it's not working. We can take this script. Can take this script from here to here. Control. Okay, but let me try anyway. No, it's not working. Okay, I'll cut it. Control X. Okay, Control. Yes, Control. Just go to new. Actually, JavaScript DOM examples. So you know HTML, yeah. HTML, okay, and then okay, title, okay. This is inside title. This is inside header. So I'll copy it first of all. Yeah. So right, okay. Just right click, browser, just click try. Now see done. Okay. Somehow we have changed the locators. Locators mean the ID or name of the properties might have used for multiple objects. That's the reason it's not working in that page. Okay. But if you look at here, okay, the world, Norway, and all is there, right? How it is working? Nothing, very simple. First, we fetch all the elements through DOM object. Document is an object. Please remember, document is an object. Its parent is window. Okay, window dot. Okay, document dot, and so on we use. So the parent object for every object is every element is window. Inside window we have a document. Okay, window has a different methods. You know, right? Window dot print. So how that may, okay, how that is possible? Because this is a complete web browser is in a window. Inside window, if you go to control P, automatically you can see the printer. See, this is a print object. This is a print object. Okay. If you want to check zoom in, zoom out, you can do that. Window dot and so on. You can see. By this you can understand. This is a new window. Okay. Inside window, we have a document. Document dot. Inside document, we have all the elements. Okay. Document. Inside document, as we discussed last time, document, inside document we have all the forms. Inside a form we have elements. Okay, so these elements you can retrieve by using get elements by tag name. Just fetch all elements and then finding the length of the total collection, and then we are changing the values. So style dot color, my collection of 1 dot style color red. That's all. Okay. It's a very simple script actually. So 22.1, yeah, come here. So which one you are discussing now? This one? Yeah. Okay. So add a new HTML element. You can also add a new HTML element. Yeah. This also, if you copy and paste somewhere, some another file, you can definitely, it will change this paragraph. Okay. So coming to new element, create a new element. You can create a fresh element, completely a new element can be created. Okay. So where is our previous class? And this one, DOM object. Yeah. Control C, Control V, copy it. Okay, Control F5, F2. Okay. Okay. See here, you can copy the previous one. Just go to 2. I'm going to close this. Yeah. So this can be copied actually. Directly can copy it from here to here. Control X. Okay. Okay. Where is our script? This is our script. Just copy from here to here. That is enough. Okay. Inside body, we need to copy. Control S. Control A. Format this code. Where is code? Format document. Right. See. Header, body is closed, and inside body we have a header and a paragraph, and then there is another division ID is div1 and a paragraph p1 p2, and then coming to script, what is doing, it's creating a fresh element. Okay.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Creating, yeah, document dot create element, basically it is creating a fresh new element p. Okay, document dot create a text node, it is creating a text node. This is new. Again, after that, what is doing? It's appending a child. how many nodes it has created? Basically, there are 2 nodes has been created. One is para. There is a parent para dot append child. Okay, we are just appending this text to the paragraph. Okay, so append child, append okay sibling. Okay, and so on. So many methods are there. One of the method is we can append a child element. So node is a child element. We are just appending this node child element to the paragraph. And there is again another one more element here. We can see get element by ID of div1. Okay, fine, absolutely fine. After what it is doing actually append child of para. We are just appending this paragraph to the division. That's all. So how many elements are there now? 1, 2 only there. Now after appending it will become 3 elements will be there. Okay. So Control S, just right click to new browser. See. Okay. This is another paragraph from where we are getting actually. So this is a paragraph. This is a paragraph. This is a new paragraph. This is a new. From where we got this is a newly created element. Create element of paragraph and then create a text node of this is new. Okay. And this is a child to the paragraph, and then entire after adding the child, we are just appending this paragraph to the division. That's what we are doing. Nothing. Okay. Create element, create a text node, and then append child, get element by ID, and then append a child element. That's all. Okay, this is the appending, and then coming to insert before, insert after. We can insert. See, so there would be so many elements out there in the paragraph, right? You should know the order also. Sometimes we may insert a particular element before a particular element or after a particular element. We can do that by using insert before, insert after. Okay, look at here. This is also very simple script. Okay. So okay. So I'm just deleting it. Body part. Yeah. Remove element also. You can also remove the elements. I'm just going to take this entire thing till remove. I'm going to take it. And replace also. I'll take replace also, but I don't know whether these locators are same or different. Okay, I'll take till this part. Control X. Okay, go here, just here. Now try to understand this. There are 2 scripts basically here. One is for insert before, another one is actually remove. Insert before, you see, first we create an element of the text. We just adding the text by using append child. Again, what we are doing? Again, we are trying to okay, we are just fetching the another element by using a get element by d1. Okay, it's a division. Okay, get element by paragraph 1. Yes, paragraph 1 is there. Insert before. See, we have already captured an element here. Element dot, that means div1 dot insert before of para. So that means where is para? This is a para. That means before this it is going to add. Okay. So this is a paragraph complete.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Okay. So this is a child element we are adding. So you have to use an insert before. That means before this element we are going to add. And then coming to remove element, also we have another method called a remove. Okay, simply you can remove this paragraph element. Okay, but if you change it, that's better actually. 1 and 2. Okay, and here 1. Okay, yeah, that's it. My function. Yeah. Control S. Just go to default browser. See here, this is how it looks like. Remove element simply removes the particular element. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
yeah, on click event we have called here. On click my function simply removes that element. That's all. Okay. Then coming to yeah, what else is there? Remove element is over. Remove child element. We can also remove child element. You can also replace a child. If you want to replace a child element, you can do that actually. Replace HTML element. So there is another element. There are two paragraph elements, P1, P2, and here we are fetching the first elements. Get find element by ID D1. Okay, after that this is a parent, this is a child, right? P1 is child, correct? Div is a parent. Inside
Yes.
div, there are two childs are there. So P1, P2 are siblings. P1, P2 are siblings. P1 next sibling is what actually next child? P2. Okay, P2's next previous child is P1. Okay. So get
Yeah,
element
okay,
by
sir.
ID of div1 and get element by ID of P1. After that, create a new element of P. Okay, we are just giving a. I mean, we are creating another paragraph P. After that, what we are doing, we are just using a node symbol. At the node, we have created text node. We are creating a text node to the element. After that, para dot append child of this node. Basically, we are just adding this text. We are not doing any rocket science. After that, what we are doing, we are replacing a paragraph with child. Okay, where is para? Para actually, this is a para. Okay, this is a new one. We are just replacing with the child. Where is child? Child is P1. So this is a paragraph, right? This will be replaced with this is a new. That's all. Okay. Control X. Sorry. Okay, go to file. And here to here we can remove it out. Add it. Yes. Now just right click. Open a new default browser. See. Okay, this is a paragraph. Earlier, this is a paragraph is there. Now it was replaced with this is new. Okay. Clear? This is how we have to replace child. So the function is replace child. Automatically the child element will be replaced. The parent is node here, div1 actually. Div1 dot replace child of para. Para means we have already created a new element here. That element we are going to replace with child. Okay. Okay. So coming to another remove element, we know we can remove child. Okay, there's one of the method to remove a child. Okay, and then coming to yeah, if you want to fetch the bunch of elements and get the node value, you can do that by using the child node starter node value. You can fetch it at. Here, if you look at ID02 is there, inner HTML. I just want to assign the value of child nodes of ID01, child nodes of 0, dot node value. What is the node value? Node example, my first page. That value gets assigned to ID02 also. Okay. ID02 also. That's how we can assign one node value to another node value, another node. Okay. Displaying body, you can display the entire body. Basically, it's a very simple script, but it's a relevant one. I will just copy and I'll show you. Control C. Okay, just create control. Yeah, fine. Okay. Yeah. Nothing actually, simply returns the body of the script. That's it. Okay, so this is the body. What is the body? This is the entire body. JavaScript, HTML, DOM, display, document, dot body, right? The entire body just replicated once again. That's all. Okay. Then we'll go quickly. It's done almost over. Now it's going to add a listener. We know already we have so many events are there. One of the event is actually clicker. click basically. Okay. So this is add a event listener, and we have actually button and a paragraph. There are three paragraphs are there, and we have written a script for at a my button level. Okay, what is add? Document dot get element by ID. We can use either one way. Another way you can directly mention here on click. On click you have to write a function. There are multiple ways to invoke event listener. On click you can directly use here. Otherwise you can write a script. Document dot get element by ID of my button dot add event listener. Dot add event listener. In this one, actually, what you can do, the type is actually clicker, and the listener type is actually, what is the listener type? Display date. So this is the name of the function we are going to invoke whenever you click a button. So display date simply fetches the date, the current date, and this shows the value here. Okay. Document dot get element of demo. That means paragraph. Paragraph text will be changed to date. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Multiple ways are there to call events action listeners. One of the model is this actually. See. Oh. Okay. Yeah, this one we want. So the only difference is here we are using a DOM function. Okay, either you can use directly here on click equals to on click equals to, then simply call a function name. What is the function name here? Function name is display date. Okay, display date. That's all. This is another way. Okay. Otherwise, you'll write a script inside the script. You can simply call document or get element by ID of my button dot add event listener. Okay, this is another annotation in uses. Control is just right click. Okay, go to open default browser. Just click try. This is a data. Okay, so
Yeah, okay, sir.
then coming to the another very important thing. This is the last one, and we'll wind up with this. So, do you have time? Or shall we meet tomorrow?
No, sir, I had time, sir.
Fine, thank you. We have again HTML where we have applied styling. Actually, there are two divisions: my div 1, my div 2, and the two paragraphs, my P1 and P2. And then inside that we have a header. Okay, inside the header, what we are doing, we are just adding add action listener for each and every object. Okay, this is a division. Inside division, we have a header and a paragraph. There is another division, header and a paragraph. Okay, see, and then yeah, look at here. This is a script ended, script starting, and where what we are doing is just adding event listener of click, comma function. Okay, so in this function, actually, what we are doing, actually, we are just okay, pop up an alert saying that you click the white element, okay, then orange element, and so on. This is actually bubbling. Bubbling and capturing means whenever there are two elements are there. See, look at here. My div, this is a parent. Inside a parent, we have a paragraph. Whatever you are just performing, you just perform from the innermost element. Then it will be applied to the parent element. That is nothing but bubbling. Okay. So, yeah, these are the various action event listeners, mouse click, mouse down, and all we have already seen. Okay. Mouse click, mouse down, and applying the background colors. Okay, like object dot style dot background color, you can change in runtime. Okay. So right click, run browser. Okay, so just click here, So this is a pop-up because we have already written. If you click this function, click add event listener of click. Okay, add event listener of click. It simply calls the function. Okay, function of alert. Simply okay, alert it. And then one more thing, actually here you pick the orange element something. So if you go to scroll down here, you can see this is a white element. So clicked on the white element and we clicked on a orange element. So I told you right already. So this is a parent. Inside parent we have another element. So if you click it automatically, whatever the event we are just performing, it automatically applicable to the parent element also. That's why it has okay, shown two pop-ups. One is white and the one is orange. So it's enough for today. I'll catch up probably tomorrow. Tomorrow at the same time, we'll continue with the bootstrap. Okay, these are
Yeah,
really
okay, sir.
very important topics. Bootstrap. Bootstrap is very, very easy. If you know this, okay, HTML and CSS and JavaScript. Bootstrap, after Bootstrap, we'll discuss about, okay, jQuery. jQuery. Yeah, this is enough. Then we'll get into, yeah, that's it.